And welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. I'm Jacob, and today I'm going to be reviewing my very first ever Neopixel lightsaber. This lightsaber is by a company called Rebel Sabers. I happened to pick this up, if you saw already, in our ICC vlog. I picked this up at ICC-Con from the people themselves at the booth, and it's absolutely wonderful. But before we get into the saber, let's go over what is inside the box. So at the con, it comes in this nice custom Sabers box, which is just like any of your electronics box. It just has a little smooth top that comes open like this. Inside, you will find a Rebel Sabers branded charger, and this isn't, my brother has one as well. His is Type-C. Mine is one of these chargers, but they always recommend that you use this charging brick that they give with you so that you do not surge your battery. It's just for the best performance overall and the best charging. You also get this bag of Allen key and some screws so you can secure the blade into the hilt, and then you have extra screws just in case you lose a couple. It also comes with this product manual. I opted to at first try to learn everything on my own. Big mistake. This is your best friend when it comes to the gesture controls and figure out how everything works on this saber, just so you can use it to its full potential. It also came with this USB to micro SD adapter, because on the inside of the saber, the board comes out and there is a micro SD card on the inside that you can take out and put your own sound fonts onto the saber. But with all that out of the way, let's get into the saber itself. This thing is absolutely amazing. Of course, it has this wonderful Neopixel blade. I have this on an Anakin sound font right now for the Chosen on a flame blade, just because I love that pulsing effect that it has. I just think it looks so cool. Of course, as you can hear already, it has smooth swing. That's probably my favorite part about this. It's just, it's so satisfying just to play around with and just... It's so nice. I love it so much. The button on the hilt also lights up. Now you might notice some scratches and chips on my hilt. I've been playing with this a lot, but two, they warned me that this was a colorway that was being discontinued just because the manufacturer's paint wasn't good and it does scratch off easy. But I like all my tech white. I don't know why. My phone is white. It's my thing. I think it looks clean and pristine, so I opted to go with white, even though there's some dings. It makes it look cool and weathered, in my opinion. Now, onto the gesture controls, because this was the hardest thing for me to get. There's multiple ways that you can activate your saber. You can press the button. You can shake your wrist. You can kind of do a stabbing motion. So cool. And you can parry. And to turn it off, it's only the shake of the wrist, or you hold the button. You can't, it would be stupid if you were to parry it again and it would turn off, because, or do this again and it would turn. I think you can turn it off by pulling back, but it doesn't work all the time. Of course, there is flash on clash, and it's relatively sensitive. There's also blaster effects just by pressing the button, as well as a flash on clash if you hold it for a second. And to release, you just press the button again. Now, if you want to change the sound font, there's two ways to do it. You can either hold the button for an extended period of time and then it will change the sound font, or if you tilt the blade down and you rotate it counterclockwise, New Horizon, it changes the font. It also has a ton of different blade effects, like the dark saber, a pulsating color. I don't know how well it's coming up on camera, but it kind of like goes like, ooh. Another kind of flame effect. This one is for Kylo Ren. Sounds so cool. And this one is a cracked blade effect. It just kind of like sparkles throughout rather than kind of pulsating up the top. There's also a ton of different ignitions that you can go through. Like this one, which I think is pretty cool. It's called the Predator ignition. So it just kind of like flashes and stuff. It's really neat. And then while the saber's turned on, there are different ways that you can change like the colors and stuff. If you were to hold the button for a little bit, it goes into a color change mode where it basically just goes through this rainbow of colors. It's kind of the one thing I'm not a huge fan of, because you kind of have to sit and wait for the one that you want, rather than on other blades where you can kind of sit there and you can twist it and it will move to the one that you want. This you have to wait, which can be a little bit tedious sometimes, but the colors are very accurate in what you want. It's really easy to pick them. On one hand, it's great just because it gives you time to get exactly what you want. But on the other hand, you just have to, if you want something that's at the end of the color wheel, you have to wait for it, which can sometimes be tedious. You can also change the volume of the saber just by pressing and holding for a second.
Volume low.
There's 3 modes. There's this volume low, and there's a mute. Mute is great if you just want to put this up in the background, if you're filming a video, or if your parents are asleep and you just want to play with a glow stick, then you don't have to worry about waking them up. Because this thing, I don't know if you've been able to hear it already, it's loud. It's really, really loud. And there's not even just lightsaber fonts on this. There's a sword font. Makes this kind of look cool. So, you can do that. And then on top of just picking whatever colors you want and things like that, there's also multicolor blade effects. So this one is a Sailor Moon effect that just comes pre-installed. I think it's pretty funny. It comes with a rainbow blade, but there's also a like a candy blade, which is like just like red and green and white. And now, is it worth it? Was this worth it? In my opinion, 100% yes. Here's a burning question I bet every single one of you have. What did something like this run me? Usually Neopixels are rather expensive and a little bit too much for most people to handle. This was $160. This was let me say it again. $160. That is cheaper than the Hasbro Sabers, which I'm going to compare to right now. So, this is the brightness and the volume of a Hasbro Saber in studio lighting. As you can see, not very loud, not very bright. Although Hasbro has been getting a lot better. This is the newest Obi-Wan Saber. They don't got smooth swing yet, but the swinging sounds are getting a lot better. It's not like I have to force it to be able to hear anything for it to go vroom now. But let's compare it to this. Even in direct lighting, this thing is super bright and looks absolutely fantastic. But let's turn the lights off so you can see this. First is the Hasbro Obi-Wan Saber. So this is what it looks like in darkness. Of course, it looks pretty good. It's just a beam of light. Looks pretty solid. Still not the brightest, still not the loudest. Now let's try this one. As you can see, whole lot brighter and a whole lot louder. So is this worth it? 100% yes. If you are somebody that's into lightsabers and you're not in it for character hilts, because this is just one of their kind of standard run-of-the-mill random hilt. You're just paying basically for the electronics. It is such a good deal. $160 for fantastic electronics, smooth swing, motion controls, and the ability to upload any font that you want is absolutely fantastic. It looks so good, and I've had so much fun with this. And another thing about this that is so great is that these are dueling blades. Something that sucks about the Hasbro blades and about the Disney blades is if you go too hard, they're going to break. You're going to bust an LED. You're going to break a blade in half. When Connor and I were filming our short film, we used I had a stunt blade from Ultra Saber. He had a Galaxy's Edge blade. We broke a Galaxy's Edge blade clean in half. It literally snapped in half. Me and Jackson have been fighting with these, and we have been going absolutely ham. Not holding back. The electronics are fine. The blade is fine. There's no dents in it. Of course, you're going to get the odds and ends of like dinks and like little scratches on it, but that's going to happen if you're going full force with this. So you don't have to be afraid about breaking this. And there's a 1-year warranty on this. Absolutely insane. 100%. If you don't own a Neopixel now and you've been thinking about getting one, go to Rebel Sabers. They are so, so, so good. It's such a nice investment to finally have one of these, and I have been playing with it non-stop. I just walk around the house, and I Obi Annie all day. It is so much fun, And yeah, if you haven't gotten one yet, go get one now. Their store is going to be linked down below. This isn't sponsored, by the way, but if they do want to sponsor us, our emails are open. Our DMs are open to be slid in. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoy this piece of hardware. And we will see you all next time. Goodbye.